guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. Judith Osonga here. This is a Talk of Change show where we talk of things that can change people's mindset and also how to function basically just to make a difference in general. So last time I was tackling a certain question whereby friends were thinking American education is easy compared to Kenyan education, and I already answered that. So today I'm going to continue with such questions. So the question for today is just, talking about the cultural shock basically, because I just came from Kenya and I landed here to do my master's. So people like to know what was like things that made me kind of be surprised here. So in general, culture shock. So the first thing was about presentations, because in Kenya, to be specific, where I went to school, my undergrad, actually we didn't present at all. So you can imagine, like, my entire life I've never ever presented something or anything. Then you get here, the first thing I was told, a part of the classes to do, write my thesis, and then from there have to present before the School of Business. A whole panel, leave alone just your classmates or maybe your professor, to be specific. You're going to go present it before the School of Business. So all professors basically, and some students who were already doing their masters. Yeah, so it was a shock for me, and but I had just to adjust. As I told you, we have a lot that you have to adjust to if you have to come and do your, go to school in a different country basically. Yes, so but I thank God, I had a very good professor. Thank you so much, Professor Cooley, who was there. He was like, if we can do how do we call it, rehearse, like a rehearsal, like an hour prior to the real presentation. So he took us to a certain room where everybody was supposed to present his or her own thesis, just to see how we're gonna do to the final presentation. And you know what, after that he was like, Judith, you know what, you can do it. The only thing you have to do, you're a great presenter, but the only thing you have to do is just to raise your voice. And he tried like telling me that, and I think that statement just calmed me down. Like, I had to calm down, and I knew I was a great woman and I was going to do it. And actually by the end of it, I nailed it. So that's gone, whatever, things were different and I loved it. So from there, I had to regain my energy and start doing great stuff. So the second thing that made me surprised when I got here was, like, we have a lot of books to read. Back in Kenya, we could just we could have like 6 courses, or we could call them units per class based on the course I did. And of course it was economics and statistics. My friends can testify that. And we could have 6 units per semester, and for these units we could just have one handout each. But here you can get like one class, what I was doing, of course MBA, you can get like in one class I'm having like 6 books or 5 books to read. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not used to this. Having done economics and statistics, I wasn't good in like theory stuff. I was good in calculation, when it comes to deriving formulas, something like that. So here, there's theory, I have to write papers. And then there's this, of course, accounting, calculation. So you have to be good in everything for you to do this MBA, because you can't do it if you're poor in accounting. That's one thing. And then other things, have to write papers as well. Finance is there. So I had to adjust and be a good writer. That's the first thing. And know how to read all these books, and write some reviews, and all those things. And just becoming a good learner, and adjusting to a different environment and way of learning. And actually I did great. So yeah, the third thing was I was the only African in every class. So you can imagine, like, having come from a different country, then you get to this country where you're just by yourself. Doesn't mean that I didn't have friends. This classmates of mine were so good, professors were so perfect, and but I was just the only um, person from Africa. Yeah, so I was surprised the first time because all the classes actually, since I started till I finished, I was the only person. Yeah, so eventually I had to come to like it because I was doing great. I was a good student, so even standing out to be different in a good way is also perfect. Yeah, so I end up just loving it, liking it, you know. Yeah, they don't have to refer to a different person, they just know I'm unique, and you know, in a good way, and every professor loved me. Yeah, so it was just a good adjustment basically. And I think the last thing I'll talk about was it was like everything you do is online. Let me say, for example, like if you have to write papers, back in Kenya assignments, you just go type, print, take a piece of paper. But here, no, you have to, everything is online, you know. So I hate to love it to some extent because I don't have to go spend money and print or something like that. I just have to write my paper, submit online, go to class, you know, something like that, everything, you know. So I had to adjust to this kind of life, and eventually I had to understand that sometimes you have to allow yourself to be changed, because that's when you're gonna realize you have a very, very good potential to do different things. And from that, actually, like, let me say, basically back in Kenya, I could not even speak up. I was a bit quiet. Like with friends I'm okay, but in class I could just keep quiet, listen, you know. Yeah, and authority. Then from there I go home, study, work on my grades. Yes, but here participation is very important. Yes, because everything, as I told you from the first video, you earn marks. So participation, how you just handle yourself, everything, like, it's all about your grades. So you have to behave well, attend classes, participate, not just sitting like a monument. Yes, so from there I had to realize I'm a great woman. Of course I was before, but you know, some different potentials. And from there I was able, through that presentation thing, you know, adjustment, I was able even to sing in church, be free. Like if you give me a mic right now, I'll be free to talk about anything that you want me to present. I was always ready, always ready. Yeah, so that's the only thing I wanted to share with you. So next time we're gonna tackle a different topic based on the questions, and hope you stay blessed. But don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and let me know what was your experience if you went to school in a different place. It doesn't mean that it should be a different country, but just let me know. Thank you. Bye. How was the experience?